Which is Betzim Shin Chav Dal Tzef Aleph. That is the sugya of Shirei Torah. That is the basis for the whole discussion. Shulchan Aruch and Hilchos Challah in Tzef Aleph. So I printed out so far the Kuntrasi Shiurim from the Chazon Ish, which is really the basis for the discussion of the Shir Chazon Ish. That's what we call the Shir of Chaim Non Shir Chazon Ish. The basis for that discussion is the Chazon Ish's Kuntras Shiurim, which is really a response to what Chaim Non wrote in his first Michtav or in his first Maimer in Shirei Torah. And hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more Mesudadik and Ma'amakaimus of some of the different Masumata. And the Iker Masumata was between Chaim Non and the Stipler, not the Chazon Ish. Chazon Ish wasn't interested, wasn't a man of Ikuach. That's what he writes in his letter. He didn't argue with people. But the Stipler certainly did, very much so. Very, very strongly, and as we'll see. It was back and forth, five different Svarim and Mechtavim. So if anyone is not really interested, it's a little bit of a hard sugi to get into for some people. Some people are very interested in learning Shiurim, or want to be here for learning Shiurim. But if not, so if someone wants to take part of the Seder, even all Seder, to just Chazer Hilchos Challah, I think that would be an acceptable thing. And if as much as you want to get into the sugyas, we'll start with the Kuntrasi Shiurim of the Chazon Ish, and hopefully next week we'll have some more Mesudadik and Ma'amakaimus, along with, hopefully the Rav will say a Shir. Okay. Now, Mitzad Shin Lamed, Simon Shin Lamed, that's our Simon that we're finishing up now. So, the Etzem Halacha of Shutfus Akum is a little bit less than the Geya L'maisa. It could be theoretically in the Geya, someone has a partner in a business, we spoke about a bakery, something like that, and then theoretically the questions of Chiyuv Challah. But in Siv Dalet over here, we are introduced to a very, very Yisodistic halacha of Sfekus. Safek B'Challah. Safek B'Challah is Man Hazeh, Umas Zman Beis HaMikdash. Safek Challah Be'eretz Yisrael, Umas Safek Challah B'Chutz La'aretz. How do we treat a Safek and Challah? The Sfekus could range. We'll try to speak a little bit about some of the shalas that are Matzah, L'maisa. A Safek, if someone doesn't, they just don't remember if they took off Challah. So that's usually not such a big deal, just take off again. The Shaila is really a little bit of hemshich from last week's sugya, the question of on Shabbos, you have Kol Many Sfekus. Sometimes the Challah we spoke about, it's mixed back into the Isa. Sometimes it just disappears. No one knows where it went. It's mitalim, it's ne'elam. And it could be it's in the Isa, could be not, could be it's in the garbage, could be it's the thing, could be you'll find it like stuck under the table on Shabbos, but it's somewhere. So it's a suffix. You're not sure. Sometimes Ma'isa Shahaya, someone came, they forgot to come out for Shchala, but we were Mavara, they weren't. It was a shtickle Safek Shir. It was clearly not Shir Chazon Ish, and it was a Safek that Shir Chaim No at all. So that's not a Sfek Shvega, because it's Shem Echad, but that's another suffix. So the Ma'isa is right. That's also the question. That's what we're going to try to get into a little bit. In which I found him. Do we have Chesed Sviv, Chesed Sisser, Davar Shish V'tir, not Davar Shish V'tir? So Lamaisa, the big problem Batsim is this din in Shin Lamed, because we know from Shin Chav Beis that Challah B'Zman Hazeh is Mid'Rabbanan. In Chutz La'aretz it always was and always will be D'Rabbanan. It's a hecker, and in Eretz Yisrael we need Bias Kolchem, which means that we need Rav Yishmael Leha, and B'Zman Ezra, at least from Zman Ezra, even from Bayis Sheni and on, there wasn't Bias Kolchem, so Me'il Challah, even Eretz Yisrael was Mid'Rabbanan, and should l'chor have the kulas of an Issa D'Rabbanan, of a Chiyuv D'Rabbanan, of Mitzvah D'Rabbanan. There's a question B'Zmanenu that we might soon have Rav Yishmael Leha, if Rav Yidden will be in Eretz Yisrael, and Afal Pikein, at least according to the Chalas Lechem, we saw that's the earliest source, the Chalas Lechem, the Kadmon, but the Chazon Ish and Chaim both say that B'Zmanenu, even if there will be Rav Yidden, it will not be Mechayev in Challah, because the Bias Kolchem had to come along with the Kiddush of Ezra, and since it didn't come with the Kiddush of Ezra, it's not going to happen until last level. So where does the steer begin? So there's a Mishnah in the third parak of Challah, and that's paskin over here in Shulchan Aruch Shin Lamed Siv Dalet. Ovid kachavim shoyis lo Isa v'nisgaya. Gilgal akoydim shenisgaya. Everything's told in Shas Gilgal. So if he was megayer before the Gilgal, so then he's chayiv. If the Gilgal was before the Gerus, he's pater. What if it's a Safek chayiv? So shteitar that l'chayr this is a regular din of a Safek D'Rabbanan, because Chal B'Zman Hazeh that we're talking about is D'Rabbanan, and it should be l'chayra. The klal should be Safek D'Rabbanan l'kula. So and that is actually what we find Kipshutai in Simon Shem Chafei. This is the one stira. There's other various points and other halachas and Shulchan Aruch will point a few out, but the Iker stira, that's what Gedulei Hektish asks on the spot over here in Sifkat and Beis. The Iker stira is the Shin Chafei, and Shin Chafei is a din that comes from the Rambam. And it's really based on the Gemara. The Gemara Pesachim says that there's a thing called tzir of sal. That if you take a lot of challahs that don't have the shear and you put them into a basket that has the shear, you're chayiv challah. We paskin that's a chiv deraisa. So there's some study in the Rishonim from the Rabbanan l'maisa it's a chiv deraisa. So the Gemara has a Safek. What if you have a tavla she'en oleh levaz v'zin? You don't have walls to this kli, so it's an ibayidol ipshton the Gemara. It's a suffix. That's a suffix plukta sveka dedina. So the Rambam paskins. The Rambam says like this: if it's challah deraisa, so suffix deraisa l'chumra. If it's the Rabbanon, suffix derabanon l'kula. Shulchan Aruch says v'im nastan shin chafei sefal. V'im nastam ala tavla she'en lo levaz v'z einom mitzdarfen. Why is it not mitzdarf? Dr. Goin, like the Rambam says, that it's telling the Raisa the Rabbanon, and since Bismanenu, like we see in Simon Shin Chav Beis, Challah Bisman says the Rabbanon Sayin Chutz La'aretz Sayin Eretz Yisrael, so it's a regular suffix the Rabbanon L'Kula. So this is the Gedulei Hekdash's question. In Shin Chav we see suffix the Rabbanon L'Kula, the regular klal that we're always familiar with. So what happened over here? Then in Shin Lamed, all of a sudden, and Betzim Shin Lamed is a Mishnah, that we have a suffix. If the Gilgal of this Isa happened before or after the Gerus, so why don't we just say the same thing? Safek the Rabbanon l'kula. Now, this question is be'etzem the Shachant has this question on the spot. Let's just go back for a second. I want to just make one point. By the din of Tavla she'en lo levazviz, so Shulchan Aruch in a way is mashma. It's not a Safek. Shulchan Aruch says just paskins ois the din. Tavla she'en lo levazviz ain't a mitzdarfin. Well, it's klar l'chayra. Point. I want to make one simple point before we go back there. There's no hachra in Shulchan Aruch of this suffix. Shulchan Aruch is just passing. The mechaber can't be poished a shayl in the Gemara, a ba'idul epshtam in the Gemara. It's just kol ibsak, which is exactly what the Goin says. That's why it's a shtickle chiddush. The Chalas Lechem says in this very lemaisa. If someone has a tav l'shein l'lavazviz, so if you put a shir challah onto a tav l'shein l'lavazviz, it's not mitzdarif because of the klal of suffix derabanan l'kula. So the question is, l'chatchila, could you do that? So the Chalas Lechem says you can't, because he quotes in Eid Yehuda, other achronim, you can't make a suffix derabanan biyadayim l'chatchila to machne yourself into suffix derabanan l'kula l'chatchila. So the that's the Chalas Lechem taina. So the Tshuva Shevet Alevi, what?
He's not gaining.
He's not gaining anything, but he's one second. So, but B'lamaisi he's machne himself into suffix derabanan l'kula. So there's a Tshuva Shevet Alevi, and Shevet Alevi says no. Since the Shulchan Aruch paskin, it's like a vaday. So since in Shulchan Aruch it says it's potter vada, and there's no problem of doing even l'chatchila, and that's a pella. Shulchan Aruch is not being machriya the ba'idul ipshton Gemara. All Shulchan Aruch is doing is telling you the halacha l'maisa, which is that in ba'idul ipshton derabbanan, like the Rambam and the Goin say. So of course it would have that. Then l'chayr the Chalas Lechem is right. I understand the problem. Shevet Levi's problem is that the steam is hapoiskim stomach. That's the problem. It doesn't say anywhere you have to be makbid. L'chayr you do have to be makbid. So I think I'm all we discussed. Ma'aseh Shaya. Someone came to ask Friday night, so already beginning of we were learning Challah, and his wife forgot to mafresh Challah. And it was a suffix. He had the shear, he had a lot of different shilas. But Lamaisa, we assume that he did have the shear, but Lamaisa was done in 2 batches, and there was no tzir of sal. So the eitzah for this person was very simply just to avoid tzir of sal, and then you'd be fine, right? Because it was Shabbos and you had another eitzah. So the question is, so I just told him to make sure not to put it into any basket together, not to put any mappa together, but I should have told him also not to put it on the table together, because putting it onto the table is a tavla she'en oleh levazviz, not to do a l'chatchila. Once he did it, or he would have done it, it wouldn't have been a problem. So it was okay that I didn't know that, I guess. But
what about Ikud Yuraisa?
What?
What about Ikud Yuraisa?
Oh, we're gonna get to Ikud Yuraisa. So 1 second. So first of all, stop. Gabi the etzem din. What? What's his fake sveka? Because the shear? Yeah, let's assume they had a shear. There are other studs over there. What? Yeah, I mean, they were asking, so what should we do? So I said, just avoid making it tzir of sal. How do you do that? I said, just don't make sure it's not in a kli, make sure it's not in a, don't put a mappa over it, don't put it into a basket together. According to the Chalas Lechem and the Pashas Halacha, if we accept that dinner, then you can't be machlis yourself to something that l'chatchila. So then I should have told them one step weiter, and that is don't put everything on the same table. Yeah, it was 2 batches, and they were talking in separate places, but that would have been his here. So I'm just saying, there's a Tshuva Shevet Alevi, the Marmar comes over here, but I don't understand why he would think that because the Machaber Paskin is din in a Klar Oifen, that it's not pleasure the Shiloh. It's still being machlis to something. Yeah, some Achreinim. No, it's not in general. You're not letting machlis yourself Yadayim to something.
Let's say tomorrow it's their Reisa. Paskin wrong. The Machaber is not coming mitzad something around the Kuma. You should have spoken that out. He's paskening, that's not tzar. It is mitzar. Just put by us right now till we have Roiv Am Yisrael, then it's their Rabbana.
Yeah, which again, according to most Achreinim, that means when Mashiach comes. So a lot of things are going to change when Mashiach comes. I don't want to
at the end of the day,
I hear the problem. I hear the problem. So I'm just saying in a Chanami, but Mana said that's what the Goin says. The Goin says it's Al Pi the Rabban, and then we know from Shin Chav Beis. Listen, in Shin Chav Beis, it's Klar Shulchan Aruch that Hilchas Challah are based on the beginning of Hilchas Challah. Shin Chav Beis that Challah Mana says the Rabban because we don't have Bias Kolchan. That's what the Goin says. That's the passion. And in a Chanami, that would be as a Hirus in the Chayna, not to take. If you're stuck in such a matziv, to try to not even make a... And you know, the emphasis is the Kaf HaChaim. There are some Acharim that are machmir by Challah Tzeretz Yisrael. Because maybe Iker Deraisa, Rav Poiskim, Shulchan Aruch, Neisi Kelim are all Meko, but... So that's a tzad. Okay, so Al-Kapan, I'm just pointing out, it's Be'emes Safek, and it's a regular of Safek, the Rabban L'Kula, and that's why other Abba, you should talk and not be machmir yourself into the Safek, maybe it's only B'diavad L'Kula. Now, so says Rav Meir, what about Iker Deraisa? So we're going to discuss all the various different Stadei Chumrah, but in a Chanami, this is why this is maybe the most important Marabakam clapping this halachas that you see here. No, we don't say it's Ikar Deraisa, we don't say that it's more Chomer than regular bundle. Here we have the regular Kol Safek Derabban L'Kula. The problem begins in Shin Lamed, and that's the stira, because in Shin Lamed we have a Safek when the Gilgal was, and L'Chayra it should be the same din of Safek Derabban L'Kula, and there were Machmir, fine. Azoi Frekt Be'etzem, the Shach, the Taz, and the Poskim in Shin Lamed. Now, the Taz is very unclear. The Taz says, Safek Chai, says the Taz, Kaf B'Shem Marshal, Dafka B'Challah Eretz Yisrael, Shi Deraisa, Sveikel L'Chumra, B'Challah Chutz La'aretz, Shi Derabanan Loi. So, the Taz is shver for a few reasons. First of all, it's making the Kimta and Shulchan Aruch, that Shulchan Aruch is only talking about Challah Eretz Yisrael, Stimus Advar we're talking about B'Chol Mokken, B'Chayra, that's Tam Akasha, and Sveitins, what the place can point out is that what are you talking about? Challah Eretz Yisrael is also Derabanan. Again, if we assume in Shin Chav Hei, that the din of Levazve is not like the Kaf HaChaim, and we assume that by the din of Tablish Ein Levazve, that we have the right to say Safek Derabbanan L'Kula by Chalas Eretz Yisrael B'Zman Hazeh She'enoi Ela B'Derabbanan. So Ma'ash Nahachan, what does the Taz mean? It's the rice. It's not the rice. Ma'ash it's not. So Ela means it's Kar of the rice. It's Ikr the rice. So that's good for the Shaila. It's Tzorchin the Taz. The Shach's initial pshat in Shulchan Aruch is even a bigger pella. The Shulchan Aruch passes. It's from a Mishnah, a Rambam Mishnah. Im Safek Chayev. Sagt der Shach, Hainu mishum Safek Yisura L'Chumra. V'tzorich loymar dahainu dafka Medina. Aval la'idna the kol Challah him D'Rabbanan, meaning even in Eretz Yisrael, Kidal Asim Shin Chav Beis. Sagt der Shach, Im Kein Potter, mi Safek. Because Safek D'Rabbanan L'Kula, like we see in Shin Chav Hei. He doesn't quote Shin Chav Hei, he just quotes Etzem Din Shin Chav Beis. He just says, of course we have regular din of Safek D'Rabbanan L'Kula. This is a Pella, I'm not sure, I'm familiar with another Shach like that. The Shach is saying that if it was the Rambam or for some other Rishonim, it's Shulchan Aruch is talking Ikar Adin, meaning B'Zman Beis HaMikdash. But in a Chanami, he's really just being noiket Lashon HaMishnah and Lashon HaRambam, but you're supposed to really know to plug in Shin Chav Beis that this whole thing it's wrong. Im Safek Chayev Zok Teshach Halacha Ma'isem Safek Potter. Chayev means me Ikar Adin, Lu Yitzur would be the Reisis. That's like a big pellet to say that's Prat Shulchan Aruch. Anyway, the Shach doesn't understand this din, and he says it's Tzarchi, and probably because it's clear from Shulchan Aruch that he's being machmir. So he asks, why do all the places just bring this halach? He doesn't understand. Al kol panim nira, says the Shach. Dehecha deika safik bedavar. Dehecha deika safik bedavar bechala. It sounds like he's starting to say more kolis the gedin. Kivon de bizman hazeh behava de rabbanon yesh lahafrish beloy bracha. So the Shach says, ultimately, we can't accept what Shulchan Aruch says. It's the rabbanon. How could you say safik l'chumra? So tzarachi, and maybe the Shulchan Aruch is talking to Beis HaMikdash Chveis, but Lamaisa Yishmi Mafresh B'loi Bracha. So this is a little bit better than the Taz. At least he's making Seder with the Raisa, the Rabbanon, everything's good. But Lamaisa, and you want to be Machmir, first of all, why being Machmir? It's the Safek Shapatu and Gansin. Okay, maybe we'll see the different possibilities why. But Al Kapanah, what the Shach is not dealing with is why is any different than Shin Chafei. In Shin Chafei, it's Pater and Gansin. We do not say by Tavla Sheish L'Lavazv that it should be Mafresh L'Chumra B'li Bracha. No one says such a din. I mean, maybe that Kaf Chaim, but the Shach has no indication of such a thing. So Ma Bein Shin Chafei V'Shin Lamed. There's another Shach, and Sal pointed out in Shin Chav Tes, if gotten Tes, that's by the din of Mei Peiros. The Mechaber Paskin's Mei Peiros are Chayiv. Shin Chav Tes, Sif Tes. Isa Shinulish Mei Peiros, Afil B'loi Shomayim, Chayeves. Says the Shach, Barosh Poiter, B'chin Bar Tenura, L'chein Yesh Hafish B'loi Bracha. So the emphasis in Sefer Torah, Sa'aretz, Kileres, so he's bothered. What do you mean? If it's a suffix, you should Pater and Gansin. And he starts quoting Mishnah Lelach, so we'll see all that's done in L'Hachmir. Imishum Ha, I don't think the Shach is Shver B'chlal, because this is Takanada by Lipshin in the Gemara, and this is not a Mishnah. This is a Machlokes Rishonim. Shulchan Aruch is Machriya the Chayev. So I understand why the Shach would have a little Hachna and say that be Mafresh B'loi Bracha L'Chumra. All the Shach was saying was Safek Brachas L'Hakol. You can be Machmir not to make a bracha. If I can't, the Shach is very Machmir. He says maybe it's better to try to wait to get another Isa. We can make a bracha on that Isa and part of this Isa also. So Imishum this Shach I think we're okay. There's no tzarachim because this is bemis a shayla v'achra. So the shach was just bothered because of the rush and the bartenura. The machaber is not mishul, but it's made psak the machaber. We're not going to pat you in ganzin. What still lives a kasha is the nafkamin between shin chafei and shin lamed, which again the shach made a little bit better. He pointed out the problem. He said tzarachin. He said to mafresh b'loy bracha. And again, it sounds like it was just in deference to Shulchan Aruch. But ultimately, alach l'maisa, do we have a chiluk between sim and shin chafei and shin lamed? Why in shin chafei we have a glata Safek derabbanan l'kula, as maybe you're stating in the Rambam and the Goin, and in shin lamed we have this problem. So that's basically where this problem starts. So there's a Hagaz Yad Avram here on the page. And the Yad Avram says, he brings the Shach's kasha, and he says the Shach is betzim hiniach tzarachin on this din, this Mishnah, this din in Shulchan Aruch. How could we be machmir? So he says, Saf the Yad Avram, big yisoid. He says the Mishnah Lamelech, Hilchos Trumas, Perek Zayin, Hilchos Zayin, huge arichos over there. And basically, the Mishnah Melech's point is he has a lot of rayas from a lot of different gemaras. Ayin Shal. We're not going to go into the rayas. Huge arichos, kedark b'kodesh. The Mishnah Melech over there, in that shtickle Mishnah Melech, there's really no hesber. He just has technical rayas from Kama Sugyas B'Shas that Truma, even al atzad, that Bisman Azetz derabanan. He's not talking about Challah, he's talking about Truma. You don't treat it like a derabanan. You treat it like the chomer of a Safek deraisa. So, feed that Mishnah Melech says the Yad Avram, it's very good. That even if there's a cheskes heter, we mamish treat it like a Safek deraisa, because shiny Safek Truma Bisman Azeh Mishari Surah derabanan. Then Asi Shapir. Then this halach is very good because Challah is Truma, Truma is Challah, and we made a Safek derabanan l'chumra by with the vaz in Echnami. That's in Echnami. So now, the Maisa the Mishnah Melech there doesn't explain. So the Yad Avram does us a favor. He found another Mishnah Melech that's in Hilchos Bikurim. In Malva. That Ikra deraisa. That because he brings right from Shemitah, he says Azoivi by Shemitah, you could say this word. So who adin by Truma and Challah. So one mahalach is that since Ikara min haTorah, and it's just because we're chaser in some prati dinim that we don't have bias kolchem, but the Ikar Challah side soul is deraisa. So Ikra deraisa hichmiru. V'hach taimo shaykh nami gabe Truma v'Challah shichmiru. So that's Ikra deraisa. The Yad Avram himself is moisif another tam, because it's a chashash takala, because Meher Yibana Beis HaMikdash, and everyone's going to be used to being Mekel in Eretz Yisrael and Sfeikis and Challah, and once the Beis HaMikdash comes back and read the Raisa, it's going to cause a chashash takala. It's another reason why the Mishnah Melech, again, the Mishnah Melech has rayas that we treat it like a deraisa. Why would we treat it like deraisa? So it says the Yad Avram betzim two mahalchim, either because it's Ikra deraisa, or because it's a chashash takala, Sheyibana Beis HaMikdash, Meher Yibana HaMikdash, and then it's going to be a chashash takala. People are going to be used to being Mekel. There's a Radvaz. The Radvaz in Purim Chestes, and the Radvaz says that the chomer of Truma is because Truma and Challah as well is B'chiv Misa. Now obviously, even though it's not Chiv Misa only if it's the Raisa, when it's the Raisa it's Chiv Misa B'Shemaim for eating Challah Truma Shloim and Adin. So the Radvaz says that shows us that this is special chomer. So even when this Isser got downgraded to a Derabanan, it's still considered an Isser Chomer, and that's another reason why we should treat it like an Isser Deraisa. In Minchas Yitzchak, he brings the Beis Halevi, which I didn't have a chance to. I looked a little bit, I couldn't find it inside, but it's officially in Siman Hey. I think Chelak Al Siman Hey. Beis Halevi state Azoy. Very big Chiddush. That Be'emes Challah B'Zman says the Raisa, just for a different reason. And even though there's no Bias Kolchem, so Mela, there's no Chi of Mitzad Challah, but he says that it's Mavur. He says that that's when Ezra came up with Minay Goyla. So it was also Midrabanan because he didn't have Bias Kolchem. So even Mizman Ezra Soifer Chal was only Midrabanan. Zok there, it's Mavur in the Psukim in Nehemiah that in Perek Yud Nehemiah that everything that Ezra Soifer, that there was a Maimid with Ezra Soifer and they were Makabel B'Shvua Aleihim V'Al Kol Doyreseim B'Shvua U'Beneder to be Mekayim these dinim. And one of the dinim that's Mavur over there is Truma, the Guad and Chal. The Beis Halevi Meila Mitzad the Neder and the Shvua, it's Chal the Doyer Soilam and Isser Derais Mitzad the Neder. Okay, so that's the Chiddush of the Beis Halevi. Apaponim Azoi. The Yad Avram is already introducing us to this idea that not every Derbanan's created equal, and since you have a we have Makaris and Shas, Be'emes, Sok Mishnah Melech, that Truma B'zman Hazeh, even Zerabanan Betzim has a Choymer that we treat like Deraisos. And we don't say on every Isser Derabanan, Safek Derabanan Lakul, and that's why we're Machm over here. And we have Kol Mini Hasbeirim, because it's Iker Deraisa, because it's Chash Takala, because it's a Choymer of Misa, or like the Beis HaLevi Shtekol Torah, that it's Alf Neder Shmuel, whatever the time may be, it's not a regular Isser Derabanan. And therefore we treat it with the Choymer. So that's very good for Siman Shin Lamed, but the Yad of Ram, surprisingly, is going into this whole sugya, doesn't point out that he didn't address the stira between Siman Shin Lamed and Shin Chafei. So if anything, Fakert, say there, if you want to be Mazmar Azoi Siman Shin Lamed, so we have the same problem in Siman Shin Chafei. In Shin Chafei, all we see, so the emes is, there is one Makar in Kafachayim to be Machmir, but over there, no one's Ma'ira that it's an Afkamina, or it's Sol, Chutzlarts, and the Kula lives even in Chalas Chutzlarts. So the first one to start addressing this theater is the Gedulei Hektish, who's trying to work out that is there a reason to be machmer by Challah only in Siman Shin Lamed and not in Shin Chafei? Again, if we say it's a regular Issur D'Rabbanan, like the Goyin is mashmir Chafei, we should be machmer both cases. And if we have some kind of hesber al pi Mishnah Melech that it should be treated the Chaymer Deraisa, then who in Shin Chafei? That's the problem. And the first one to try to go into this issue to work it out, I saw is the Gedulei Hektish. So Gedulei Hektish starts like this. Gedulei Hektish has a hanacha that Sfeikus and Challah are l'chayra davar sheish matir. The klal is by a tarevis of an iser or by a Safek iser, that even if mitzad the etzem klale has Safek or klale habitol, it should be batal or it should be Safek derban l'kula, but rega that it's a davar sheish matirim and you have a way to avoid the iser. So without being semich on the bitol or semich on the suffix, then we're machmer. So that's a davar sheish matirim, and the klal is it's not batal, and we don't say Safek derban l'kula. So the Gedulei Hektish assumption is that l'chayra, Sveikus and Challah, whether it's a Safek if he was a guy or a Yid b'shas Gilgul, whether you have a Safek on the Lavaz Vizin, on the Tavla. But once you're nichnas into one of these Sveikus, so what do you want to say? Safek D'Rabban on the Kula, Hare, it's a Davar Sheish Matir, and why? Because you should be mafresh a little bit. And even if you say that Echad mi'esim va'arba, Echad mi'arba mishmoin, if you had a real Shir Challah, maybe it wouldn't be a Davar Sheish Matir because you have to take off a whole Shir. But here it's just a Mashu. And the klab of Davar Sheish Matir, as long as it doesn't have a tircha meruba or hefsid meruba, hefsid yiseir, something significant, so then we require you to go the derech heter without being samech on the bittul and the suffix iser. So zok there, so it's a suffix, so it's a Davar Sheish Matir. So he starts fakir that the emes Shin Lamed is the pashtus, right? The goin, the way we're starting is that the way the Goyin makes it sound is it's a regular Issur D'Rabbanan. So we have to find up some Hezber and Shin Lamed. The problem is the Hezberim, Yad of Ram, Nachrein are saying in Shin Lamed doesn't really help because those Hezberim all apply to Shin Chafei. Says the Gedulei Hektish, Punkt Zakir, the MS, it's a Davar Sheish Matir. And just saw now from where the Rashash in Chulin, the Gemara in Chulin Kuf Lamed Daled brings this Mishnah and this Halacha in Shin Lamed. The Rashash over there already is bothered what happens for being Machmer and that din of Safek Goy, Safek Yid by the Gilgon. He also brings already the idea of Davar Sheish Matir. But the Gedulei Hektish has Davar Sheish Matir. If it's Davar Sheish Matir over here, because you can. Let's talk Challah. The case they're talking about is in Shin Lamed again, because you can be Mafish. And since there's no Shir Chal B'zman Hazeh, if you take off a Mashu, so what are you being Samech on the Bittul? It's Davar Sheish Matir. Im Kain, we have the same question that we're dealing with the whole time. What about Shin Chafei? It's also Davar Sheish Matir. There we have an Eitzah. So he has a few Eitzahs. So the first Eitzah is that the one clear difference between Shin Chafei and Shin Lamed is that in Siman Shin Lamed, it's Safek in the Metzias, what happened. We're not sure when the Gilgul took place. So then we say Davar Sheish Matir, and you have to be mafresh Challah. Ad shetichlan b'Isser, tichlan b'Heter. Don't be samech on the Safek, be mafresh. Mashenkin in Siman Shin Chafei, it's a Safek plugta. It's an Ebayid lo Ipshita. It's a Safek Tzvika Dedina. So he has Kam Makaris and Achronim, a Shagis Aryeh, a Shagis Aryeh, or Kiveger, Yam Shlomo, that by a Safek plugta we don't say Davar Sheish Matir. So if you have that klal, then we have a Pasha de Teretz. It's not the mashmos in Shin Chafei that we're dealing with Davar Sheish Matir, but then we'd have a mahalach to mechalek between Shin Chafei and Shin Lamed. Shin Chafei is a Safek plugta. By Safek plugta, when you have a Safek of Pasha by the Lipshta, we do not say Davar Sheish Matir. By Safek D'Rabbanan, we rather say Safek D'Rabbanan l'kula. Mashenkin in Shin Lamed, where it's a regular Safek D'Rabbanan, just like Beitza Shanoldo, you don't know when it was born, a regular din of a Safek D'Rabbanan, on which we do say Davar Sheish Matir. Fine. That's his first mahalach. And then he brings Kama Makaris Hagam that Gedolei Achronim say that, so that would already be a Yishuv. He brings Kam Makaris from Rishonim and other Makaris, Ein Sham Big Arichos, that this klal is not Pasha. And he has a raya from Rashi and a Tosfos that even by a Safek Plugta, we are Machmer by Davar Sheish Matir. So then we have a problem. So he says maybe there's another Eitzah. And this is a little bit unclear to me what Gidul Hekdesh wants, Ein Sham.
That's a
Char Sfeik Adina. No, yeah, it's Safek Plugta.
So then we should also go to Kula there.
Right. We should go Lakula, and the Maisa of the Shach is not. For that, I just tied in a different taina that there the Shach was being machniya to the Hachra of the Mechaber. The Mechaber was machriya that Shach, Macholik Shoshonim. And the Mechaber was machriya, so the Shach said, say there. So just be machmer, don't make a bracha at least. But that's not the regular din of Safek. But in a Chanami, the Torah Sa'aretz asks that question from Meiperis, and he says the Mishnah Melech. The Mishnah Melech says, it's not a regular Safek, we're machmer, just they don't address the fact that what about Shin Chafei Lavazim. So this is a chiluk. So one chiluk is Safek Plukta. Fine. If you don't accept that, so he has another chiluk. Ayin Shom, that in Simon Shin Chafei, by Lavazim, you had chalas, and then you took the chalas that were mutter b'achila, meaning they had a cheskas heter, they had a cheskas chulin, you put them onto the tablish in Lavazim, that was nichlas into a Safek. It's a Safek derabana. So there, Hagam, there's Davar Sheish Matirim, it's a Davar Sheish Matirim, connected a cheskas heter. So he thinks that the Davar Sheish Matirim connected a cheskas heter, you don't say Davar Sheish Matirim. Also a Shaila, it's a big arichas about all these things are nidainim. He's trying to come up with potential chilukim. One potential chiluk is Safek Plugta and Safek Mitziyah. Another potential chiluk is, he says in Shin Chavei, it's a cheskas heter. Now,
why do you need all three stages? Once you have cheskas heter, that'll clear the Safek. They no longer need Safek Derabana Lakula, and they may run into the problem of that.
It had a cheskas heter. I mean, it still has the chazaka, but it was.
And now
was no letter raised.
They have a raise.
It was.
That's it. And you have a chazak. You have a Safek.
So this is a Noida Behuda who says that in Evan Ezer Simon on Ches, but without the Noida Behuda, I would say you can't be samech on that the makom that you have a Davar Sheish Matir. Meaning it's a Safek. We might have a Safek. So you want to be poishet the Safek with a chazak. So that's a question in Achronim. So the Noida Behuda says in Chanami we could be poishet the Safek even though it's a Davar Sheish Matir. Meaning other Achronim, and that's a Safek. No, it's Davar Sheish Matir. You have to mach. Now, is this a makom lachalek between Shin Chafei and Shin Lamed? It sounds like the Gidul Hekdesh is trying to say that. Levasoif, he seems to say not like that, and he brings the Gemara in Chulin. Now, the Gemara in Chulin there is talking about a nafkamina between Stam Matnas Kahuna and Challah. And the Gemara says that when you have a Safek that's noilad by Stam Matnas Kahuna, meaning there's no tevel, like Zroya Kevel Chaim, where there's no issue of tevel, so the Gemara says there, it's an issue of mammon akayim. So then we're samech on the chazak, and we say that you're allowed to keep it because there's no kedusha, there's no tevel, so you can keep it, you can eat it. Masha'en came legabe challah, even though it's also mammonistic issue. So maybe legabe giving it to the kohen, you could tie it connected to the kohen. So Rashi says that's only legabe the mammon kohen, but legabe the iser because there's tevel, so we're not samech on the chazaka. So at some point the Gidul Hekdesh brings this Rashi and he says, so you see that in the Hemshech of Ishtek all the way at the end, and he says, you see that it's, you see there's a Cheskes Heter. So then, even if we're going to use this klal to explain Shin Chafei, again, the Gidul Hekdesh turned the whole sugya on its head. And he said, forget, there's no heter of Safek Derabanan in the sugya. Fakir. It's Safek Derabanan l'chumra, because Davar Sheish Matir. And we're finding eitzes how to get out of that in Shin Chafei. One way out of that is Safek Plugta. Then we have a good chiluk. Another way out, he's saying is Cheskes Heter. Okay, but then here also in Shin Lamed we have Cheskes Heter. Or do we? So at some point in Gidul Hekdesh he says there's a Cheskes Heter because, well, he quotes the Rashi in Chul Kuflam Dal. What I'm saying is Ayin Sham. It's not pashut. It's still not sure about this. But Lamaisa over there, from the second that the Lisha was done on the Isa, you had a Safek. Where was the Cheskes Heter? The Chazaka that Rashi is talking about is the copy of the Mammon. And that there's for sure a Cheskes Mammon because he has the money by him. He doesn't have to give it to the Kohen. Halacha Maisi, he doesn't have to give it to the Kohen. He can sell it to a Kohen. He just can't eat it. Rashi is saying, Lagabi Isser, you can't be Soimich on a Cheskes Mammon, Lagabi Isser. When Rashi there says Chazaka, he's talking about the Chazaka of a Mitzvah Chavel Al Varaya. You can't make me give you the Challah, you can't make me give you the Mammon. And Nemes says even the Challah, you don't have to give it to the Kohen for free. Because Beneder is not to get, you burn it anyway. But Lamaisa it's a din, so Lagabi the Mammon is a Chazaka. But I'm not sure, again, in Shin Chafei it's clear, the Cheskes Heter, these Challahs were mutter, it was cool, you're allowed to eat them. You put them onto the table, Shein Lo glasses in, so then you're nichas into a Shaila, Chazaka, Davar Sheish Matirim, you have a Chazaka. Mashenkin over here, the Leidas HaSafek came with the Lisha, meaning
it was a goy.
it was a guy.
What was it going?
What was it, guys? That's the question. Now, this might be totally in the Shiloh. We saw maybe Reb Chaim, the Chazon Ish, when exactly the Choivas Challah really begins, whether it's mitzvah Tluis B'Aretz, not Tluis B'Aretz, but Kipshutai, from the second of the Lisha, we don't know if it was a guys. It never had a Cheskas Goys B'Shas Lisha. Meaning, if we're dining on the dough, it's not pshat that it was a guys and now we're not sure what happened afterwards. From the second that Reishis Arisei Seichem, from the second that it was an Arisa, we want to know if it's Arisei Seichem or Arisa's guy, we don't know. So there's no Cheskas there. And I think that's what Gedul Hektish means. That would be another Mahalach to explain why Be'emes, again, we're going with the whole Fakert Mahalach of the Gedul Hektish, which Be'emes there's Shas already Maktin, that Be'emes there's no Safek Derabban L'Kula by Challah. Just that because the Davar Sheish Matir, just we have a special Eitzah in Shin Chafei, so Machrenish Eitzah, that either it's Safek Plukta, we don't say Davar Sheish Matirim, or Cheskes Heter, we don't say Davar Sheish Matirim, V'chahena, and that would apply to Shin Lamed and Shal Ma'israel.
At the end of the day, the status of the Isa is only in as much as it belongs to a Yid. In as much as we do have Chazak Nikar of him being a Goy, push it as far as possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure. If the Safek would be on the Goy, then Klorazoi, but here the Safek's not on the Goy, it's on the Isa. The question is, does that chazaka help Klapi Isa? I'm not sure. Could be. So it could be. That might be the masamat in the Gedul Hektish. I ain't sure. You see, because in the end he does bring that Rashi.
Going this second Mahal, so Shem Chates is also good.
Because there's no cheskes heter, right? In the Chanami. Because mitchilas lisha with the Mei Peiris, that would be klar. That's even better than the Goy, because there was no chazaka b'chal, right? Again, unless there's some kind of cheskes heter on the tvua or on the kemach, which kipshuta, that would be
But also Shin Chafei. At the end of the day, the Safek is not right now when it's on the Lebanon.
No, but this food had a cheskes heter. I was mutter to eat
Not as
halach.
one Isa.
Not as one Isa, not before I put it on the tavla. When I put it on the tavla, now I have a Safek, but I have a Shrava Chazaka de Me'ikara, that it's a bit of a tour, that it's chulim. That's clear. Now, so Hagam, that it seems that this is the only, the Mikdash Mat's the only one to actually address the issue and try to deal with the steer between Shin Chafei and Shef Lamed. So it's very clear that this is Shtikl Torah, saying it's an Achron Shtikl Torah. And again, if you read Shin Chafei, it's a Rambam, it's a Goin. There's no mention, no shmek anywhere that this has anything to do with Davar Sheish Matir. That was like Chiddush. And that's Rashash's Kasha in Taka and Chul and Kuf Lamed Dalet, because he's bothered, the Rashash. And Kuf Lamed Dalet, he's also bothered by this Chazaka issue, the Rashash. He's like, what's the problem with being... The Gemara says, we're not Samich on a Chazaka b'Makam Isser. In fact, the Rashash and Kol Torah Chul, of course we're Samich on Chazaka b'Makam Isser. Says the Rashash, it's a shtickle, it's really this. And the Rabbanon, it's a special din over there. The Shin Lamed din, the Rashash says. He says maybe it's a little bit of a Davar Sheish Matir, because you can be mafresh and sell it to the kohen, and if you mafresh and sell to the kohen, then you don't lose anything. Ayin sham. But l'maisa, it sounds like this is a chiddush that the Mikdash Ma'ad, the Gedul Hektish, was he found the Shagas Aryeh and the Yehuda and Shtikl Chayr to explain why even if it's a Davar Sheish Matir, we'd have Makam Lako. And the MS, the Gedul Hektish himself, Teichad Dvarim, is Ma'ir that Yitachin Ma'ir that the MS not a Davar Sheish Matir. Why would this not be a Davar Sheish Matir? So one very simple reason would be because it's not Yishla Matir and Be'etzim, because you have to be Mafresh Challah. That's what he points out. Davar Sheish Matir means you can get the whole thing, but if an amuter, as it's supposed to be Semich on the Safek or Semich on the Bittel, you get the whole thing. But here, in order to matter this thing that otherwise would have been Heter, meaning this whole Isa, this whole Challah would be mutter. So you know it's Yishla Matir, because I can take off a piece of Challah and burn it. So that's not Yishla Matir, because I'm going to be Mafsid B'chinam, the piece that I'm taking off. Oh, it's a Frakdeli, so what about Mashus? That seems to be his clarity, do the Hektish. When it's Hefsid Mammon, not just Tircha. Kuf Beis, we learn more about Tircha. Here it's not a Hefsid, especially because Manenu that the shear is with Kolshu. So L'chayra, that seems to be his Nidin over there. Do we say that because, is there a tzad to say that because it's a Mashu, is there a tzad to say because the Hefsid Mashu is not a Mishmatir? That seems to be his claim. Now, but L'chayra, there's L'chayra, more reason to be done, even if we assume that there's not a hefsid. And mitzad klale, Davar Sheish Matir would say it's a koldahu, it's like a tircha koldahu, and then it blibes with the chaymer of Davar Sheish Matirim. There's room to argue that this is for another reason not Davar Sheish Matir, and that is because it's not a Davar Sheyesh Loi Matir. A Davar Sheyesh Loi Matir means that you have some kind of isser, you have some kind of isser beitza shenolda, you have some kind of tarevis, you have that isser, and instead of eating that isser by being semich on whether the fact that it's the Safek isser or the fact that it's batal b'tareves, it's yesh loy matir, means something mibachutz that can come and matir it. Like if you wait to eat the beitza till the next day, so then you matter the beitza. Mashenkin here, what's the clear? What's the suffix here? What is the suffix on challah that you put on the lavazis? On a tavla she'en lo lavaz? The suffix is if you have to be mafresh challah. So there's no such taina. It's a davar sheish matirim because you can be mafresh challah. Al zeh gufan udanin. The suffix is if I have to be mafresh challah. So if it's a suffix, do I have to be mafresh challah, not be mafresh challah? Yesh matirim doesn't say, yeah, of course it's yesh matirim to be mafresh challah. That's what the suffix was poishet lahaka. So I don't have to be mafresh challah. So that's not yesh matirim, that's yesh yisurin. You could just be machmir. But the suffix Gemara says lahaka. The din of davar sheish is don't be samich on the special kula of suffix or bittul because there's something else that'll matter. You don't have to worry about this whole thing. But here the whole suffix is whether or not I have to do this mitzvah, be mafresh challah. So of course it's not davar sheish matirim. There's no shaykhs davar sheish matirim. And Cain says, I was looking a little bit for davar sheish matirim made. So in Kilos Yaakov and Brachos in Siman Hey, so he's talking there about davar sheish matirim, about making a bracha. If you have a Safek brachas l'hakol, why is a Safek brachas l'hakol? To eat the food, to be nana b'yom zebla bracha. Harei davar sheish matirim because you make another bracha. He handles going to make another bracha would be a bracha batal, not a bracha batal. It's yesh matirim, not yesh matirim. In Kilos Yaakov, Stipler, and Siman Hey. That's the idea here, and that's a reason why this would not be a davar sheish matirim. Now, if it's not a davar sheish matirim, then we're a little bit hadr kushel uduchte, right? Then we have reasons and ideas in the achreinim that shiny chal and truma. It's ikarei de'araisa. It's chaymer that it has misa. Maybe there's some kind of chash takala. We have svaras in the achreinim, svaras that we find many places, and the Mela we have reason to be machmer. So the Aruch HaShulchan has a lashon that maybe it's not really clear to us exactly when they were machmer, when they decided to be mekel. L'famim hichmiru, l'famim hikilu. We can make up all kinds of svaras. But l'chayra, what I'm saying is fakir. L'chayra, it's not a davar sheish matirim, and it's hadar kol l'duchte. But the klal is by challah. The challah is by nazez midarabanon, and the mela safek derabanon l'kula. And you don't need, and it's not a davar sheish matirim. We find in Siman Shin Lamed. So you see that was really the whole kibbutz of the Rashash. The Rashash is bothered. So why? So he says maybe this chumrah in the din of Shin Lamed, maybe this chumrah of Safek is a chumrah midarabanon because it's ke'ein a davar sheish matirim. And maybe over there it was less nicker because the challah was nisgalgal and nothing changes. He just went to the mikvah. We can think of different svaras, but it sounds like the pasha of the teretz is not like all the einfals of the Gedula Hektish that were coming up with the whole shtickle Torah that really challah should be l'chumra. We have a special reason why here it's l'kula and here it's not. But rather the pasha of din is like the mashmos shin chavei safek derban l'kula. In Shin Lamed there was a chumra. What that chumra was based on, Ayin Sham in the Rashash, and maybe there's other reasons. It's a Milsa Shchicha that case, maybe that's a reason to be Megel, it's a reason to be Machmir, it's less nicker that anything changed over there, so maybe it'll be more of a Marasayin. We'll have to find some answer over there. Okay.
So are you saying, so by Tfilas Kalim also is not over there?
Again, Tfilas Kalim is, you have Kalim She'enim Tulim that are Nisarev and Kalim Tulim.
So you have a suffix if you have to
do
Tfilas. Suffix if this is glass or not. So you wouldn't
Safek
say,
if it's glass, let's say Safek if it was Tavel. Talk about that. Yeah? Would that be the question?
so we wouldn't say we push the suffix and just you touch it.
Right. If you have a suffix, meaning the din Shulchan Aruch is if it was a tarevis. So if it's a tarevis, then we have a taina. Don't use this kli she'ena tavel because of bittul tarevis. Ki harei you have a heter. Yeshal matirim. You can be tovel it. But if I have a suffix, if it was tavel or not, that would not be a suffix. Right. Check over there. Is that
has a bite of the Yishit in tomorrow, by the cousin or something like that?
Yeah, and therefore.
Now these places say for sure to be table without a bracha, even though you're never going to really be quite that.
Yeah, I'm not saying there can't be any suffix in Tfilas Kalim that's l'chumra. The question is why? Is it al davar sheish matirim? Or are we talking about a suffix deraisa, suffix derabanan?
Don't we have
What? If you have a tarevis, like tarevis, a tarevis of kelim she'enim tulim, that's before Hashem. But that's not. There's no kasha on that from this yisoid. The kasha in this yisoid is if you have a kli that I have a suffix, do I have to be tovel it or not? So you say, well, yesh matirim, you could just be tovel it. It's in the chan. That would not be davar sheish matirim. Okay. Now let's just talk about
Even if it's not a halachic davar sheish matirim, don't we say that it's the kali? You were saying at the beginning of the word, the kali you can attack in it, and
That is one of the kolam of Davar Sheish Matirim. That it's only when it's Bakal. It's Sheish Matirim Bakal.
Even if you hold Savik Derban L'Kula,
without Davar Sheish Matirim?
The house is public or not. Right? So if you could ask him, go ask him. If he's around, so go ask him. Don't rely on that.
That's equal of Ruri. That's equal of Ruri.
Seder.
Yeah, this is not equal of Ruri again, because even if there's going to be a Hefsek Koldu, yeah, of course it's not equal of Ruri. Again, the Torah is not Machayev. You and Kloi Savik Derban L'Kula, if you don't have Davar Sheish Matirim, meaning that gets to a different question. There's no midas chasidus by Safek Derban L'Kula to be machmer. Right?
If you could easily avoid it.
Equal of Ruri means you could be pushed at the suffix. Then you don't have the heter of the suffix because it's not really a suffix. You could be pushed at the suffix.
Okay, no, but here you're not being pushed.
You're not being pushed at anything. It's not being machmer and you're avoiding the suffix, but by being mafresh again, so you're not mechuyev. Would there be a midas chasidus? I don't know. Yeah, maybe there would be midas chasidus to avoid. Okay, so let's just talk about 3 different cases that are some of the halacha l'maisa. So I think potentially, the most common case, one of the common cases, is that challah is made, a shir challah, complete shir challah. Again, the interesting shaylas are always on Shabbos because that's when you can't be mafresh challah. And Shepashit forgot if she's mafresh challah. She's not sure. Think about it. Maybe try to go through the motions, replay your Erev Shabbos. Could it be? Check. Do you smell some smoke? Did you burn it? You put it in the fridge, the freezer, the garbage? No idea. Lost. Gone. So we have Challah, Safek, in Eretz Yisrael. Let's talk about, the Sfivoiseinu, Birenu, by us in Eretz Yisrael. An Isha comes, she's not sure, she doesn't know. Madu. So here we have a serious problem. Because even if what I'm saying is correct, and that is that the halacha is Safek Derban L'Kula Challah, and that Shin Chav He is the Pashtus. And the Chiddush is Shin Lamed. We have to deal with Shin Lamed, like the Shash dealt with it. We have to butcher a little bit how to explain Shin Lamed, some kind of special chumrah over there. Fine. That's all. And I'm saying we don't need a Cheskes Heter to be mafkia the chumrah of Davar Sheish Matirim because it's not a Davar Sheish Matirim, let's say. But that's without Cheskes Isser. If a woman made a Shir Challah, it's Klor Cheskes Tevel, that's Cheskes Isser. And that's a call we have, that we don't say Safek Derban L'Kula, Keneged Cheskes Isser. So Memela, that's the Shach and Kofiyot. I'm saying you just don't say it. Right, okay. Halach, I think, we don't say... So Memela, in Isha, that comes, and she's not sure. So sometimes it's just nerving, sometimes we'll speak about that if you have some eights of that. Not sure if she took Vaday Tevel, Vaday Shir Chazanish. Oh, very good. Very good. So that's what I brought here. So is there a tzad to be making because of Sir Chanakat? So, if it's a woman who doesn't make challah often, so once in a while just Erev Yontif or something like that, so there's no Sir Chanakat. She doesn't do it often. But if she's in Isha every single Shabbos, every single Keseder, she makes challah and she always has a mahalach, she goes and she's mafresh, she puts it up, and she throws it in the garbage.
Right after
she
she makes it out, you're saying. She doesn't wait for it. She takes it right away.
Yeah, as a razor.
As opposed to what?
What?
As opposed to
She doesn't take it right away. She waits till it rises. She does it before she braids it. Like,
It's not always.
okay, whatever her mahalach is.
She puts it in the freezer. Where is it?
One second.
No,
The freezer, the garbage. I'm saying.
garbage.
In the she's in the freezer. Check the freezer. If she burns it generally, then she'll know because you can't forget it. Burning it, or maybe she gives it to the husband to burn. He forgot also. I don't know. Let's say she throws it out. Yeah, that's okay. It's not a bit, but says it like we.
Or when there's 10 others in the freezer, she didn't count. So
Yeah. Okay. She looks in the freezer. How's she supposed to know? It's lachatz. Yeah.
so she can't pick them up.
And you chab that the in-laws are already sitting at the table and made kiddush already, and they're waiting for. Yeah. Okay. So the big lachatz, she can't remember. Oh, so the Taz in Simon Samach says that Meister Shoya, that Isha forgot to do Malicha, one side, two tzadim, and the Taz says it's okay. It's Safek Derban L'Kula because Sircha Nakat, and since she always does the Malich like that, you can be Samach that. The Shach and the Kudus Kesef is Chaylik, and says Avad Nish, don't make up new Kulas, don't say Safek Derban L'Kula. Shach has a very sharp line of these. What do you think Safek Derban L'Kula? It's a lot of Safek Derbanas that are not L'Kula. It's a complicated issue. Don't stop make up your own Safek Derban L'Kula. That's what the Shach and the Kudus Kesef is Chaylik on the Taz. But the Shach is Moisif, and that sounds like his Ikar Nakud over there is that she forgot about Malicha. Malicha is a huge asik. How do you forget about Malicha? It's a huge piece of meat. She wouldn't have forgotten about such a big asik. So the question is over here, it's not such a big asik mafresh challah. Now it could be if she generally burns it and she's not sure if she did it and burnt it, so how could you forget it? If you always burn it and you have no other mahalach, then the it's takataina and then we couldn't make it.
If she davened, she says to him and she was mafresh challah.
Okay, I call it for you. But let's just talk about like a regular case where she just takes it up, wraps it in the bag, throws it in the garbage, and she just doesn't remember it. So it's not a groisa thing. So then tzirchanokat, and then l'chayre you're talking that the shach would be mekel as well. This Taz is already shtel to by the Rav Yehuda, very famously in Sim Kuf Tzadik Tes and Hilchos Chafifa. The Piskei Tshuva there, Sifkan Beis, brings the Rav Yehuda who declares that an Isha forgot if she combed her hair. And he wants to be Saimech on, he says, Ian Daraisa, for Daraisas you can't be Saimech on Tzirchanaka, but for a combing, and they declare, did she borrow the comb, and she's not sure if she combed, or did she not borrow the comb? And Lamaisa, many poskim there are machmer about that shayla, Siddur Tair, Chavaz Das. So that's a big shayla. But halach lamaisa over here, where it's ma'asen, it's a Safek D'Rabbanan, and if so, again, I think maybe Rameir is right. If it's a matzav where she says the way she does it, she doesn't make any gross maimed out of it. She takes it off things and throws it in the garbage right away. She doesn't really make a big tefillah out of it, and she doesn't and you don't burn it, and they don't make a whole asik of bringing the kids around. But it's something she does every week. She's making challahs to seder, and especially, let's say it's someone who sells challahs. You know, they're doing it as a business, so it's more of a technical thing. So l'chayr there would be makom to say tzirchanakat. As long as, again, it's not a Maisa Gadol. It's hard to know exactly what's not a Maisa Gadol. The Maisa is a Cheskes Isser. There is Cheskes Isser here, which makes it a little more Chamer. There's a Tshuva Marie Asad. It's over there in Kuf Tzadik Tes, the place you bring. Marie Asad has a shayla about an Isha who prepared herself to the Gans Chafifa. She knows something about the Chafifa. And she comes home, she's not sure she was actually Toivel. Which, like, could happen, you know, they're very spaced out. So we go back, the Balanit doesn't remember the 100 women. She did everything. She's not sure if she actually went in and had the Balanit do it. So Marie Asad there is Machmir, that she has to be toivel again, and one of the things he says is cheskes isser. So I think tzirchanakat would work be'etzim connected cheskes isser, but l'maisa yesh la'ayim. Over here there is a chlor cheskes isser. It's tevel mamish, but it's a maisa koldehu, and the mashmos of the shach is by the maisa koldehu would be samich on the taz. So l'chayr b'shas chak there would be what to rely on. Ayin shom in the taz and some tes already. Okay. So that means she has a mahalach every single week. She does.
We're saying that even a mahalach that is not with halacha, meaning over there she's oisik in chafifa. In Kriya Shema she's in the middle of Kriya Shema. Here she's baking challah. There's a mitzvah that you can do while baking challah. And we're saying it's a part of the tahalich of baking challah.
I don't think the svara of Sirchanakat is totally that she's being oisik in a mitzvah. You know, Lisha's challah is from Kavod Shabbos also a mitzvah.
Meaning it's a process.
I'm talking about a woman who has a mahalach. A woman who makes challah every single week. That's a mahalach. So if her mahalach is not a big deal mahalach, that she would certainly never forget about it. She just doesn't throw it out. She just can't remember. I was meaning to. I ran out for a second, came back. She's not here. I don't think it's a border over. I think that is the gufet. Okay, next shayla. I'm not sure which one's more common, if she forgot to be mafresh, or we're not sure if it got mixed back in. Both are definitely fighting for first place. Okay, so that's the shayla. Again, Shabbos, when you can't be mafresh again, because no one would even ask this shayla, just be mafresh again, what's the big deal? But on Shabbos, she's not sure, she was for sure mafresh challah, which means now we're going fakert. We have a cheskas heter. The challah is becheskas chulin, and that was clear, it was chulin. The only question is if it was nisari. And again, it would have to be an oifim where if it was Nasar, there wouldn't be Shir Kofalif. We're talking about Eretz Yisrael, not Chutzlar, which was Batal Baroiv Mekradin, certainly could be Megel. But if it was a Shir Mitzumsum and she took off a big chunk and it just disappeared, she has no idea where it is, we're not sure if it got mixed back in, Madinah. So this would be more negate to our discussion. Right? The first case, we have Cheskes Isser, we have a problem, Shach, Cheskes Isser, not Saimech on Safek of Amakula. But here, there's a Cheskes Heter. And you have a Safek if B'chlal the thing went back in. So this is a Safek D'Rabbanan L'Kula. In Machzikin Isser, yeah. So what you're saying is even better. Mehechatesi, like Mehechatesi went back in. So maybe there was some kind of raglaim. Over Enechanami. Kipshuta, we don't have to assume. And that's MS. I found the Mar Makam. I was looking. The Shach in Kuf Yudalef Sivkat and Vav was talking about a Safek if Chuma fell into two Chaviyos, and the Shach didn't make such a chiluk. He says the whole Midin that he's talking about, a big Arichas in the Shach, is when you're not sure which one it fell into. But if you're not sure it fell in at all, so then we just say Safek D'Rabbanan L'Kula. There's no Cheskes Isser. But what about? So let's assume, let's accept the fact that some kind of reisa, there was some kind of something. So it's a Safek, but there's no Cheskes Isser. So l'chayr, the Pasha Din is Safek Derabanan L'Kula. And it's not a Davar Sheish Matir. And we apply the Din in Shin Chafei. We have a problem with Shin Lamed. And we have a problem with Shin Lamed. So that's the problem that we have to deal with. And it probably has something to do with the fact that... I'm talking about Shabbos where you had no eitzes. So I'm just saying, which do we accept when we're faced with a choice? Which do we say is the Pashtas Halacha? So then, so what I'm saying, the emphasis is here. Even if we accept the shtickl Torah of the Mikdash Ran, and we say that it's Davar Sheish Matir, but one of the shtickl Torah, at least of the Mikdash Ran, was a Cheskes Heter, and here we had a Cheskes Heter. So then even if we accept, either way you cut it, even if we accept the chiluk of the Mikdash Ran, and the difference is that it's Davar Sheish Matir with Cheskes Heter. Here you did have a Cheskes Heter, so you had a Cheskes Heter. There was certainly no Cheskes Heter. And Kipshuta here, you could be makel at something that Ban L'Kul, and that's what Emes was mashed with the Shach and Kufirav. Now, what if there is a Safek? If you had a shear or not? She was not mafresh. You're having trouble finding it because she was certainly not mafresh. Clear that was no suffix. So we're looking for eitzes, Shabbos again, and the only eitzah we could find is that you mavarer that it's not clear there was a shear. The shear is it's unclear where exactly 1.2 something, and it was somewhere around there. But she's not sure if she was lush with a shear or not. Could you be samech on the fact that it's a suffix? It's suffix derabanan on the kula. So here there's no cheskes heter, I don't think. Again, maybe there's a cheskes heter on the kemach, but l'chayr from the shas isa there was a latest hasafik was from the shas gilgul. L'chayr this is not called a cheskes heter. So then maybe we'd be forced to declare this shiloh again. Safek derabanan l'kula. So in the case where she was for sure mafresh and we're not sure it went back in, then even if we say it's davar sheish matirin, you have cheskes heter. In this case, l'chayr mitzad echad it's more chamer that. It's a regular suffix, and if you accept that Challah is a Davar Sheish Matirim, so that's maybe the Sheish Matirim. I'm not sure if Bechlal is Davar Sheish Matirim on Shabbos for a different reason, because Lamaisa could be Challah, depending on your Challah, depending on what you do with it. Could be if you have to wait till after Shabbos, it'll be stale already, it won't be edible, it won't be good anymore, the Challah, it's not fresh. So maybe Mitzad it's not Davar Sheish Matirim. But Al Kol Panim,
Why are you saying there's no
again, it's similar to the case of the Gilgal Isa by the Goy of the Yid. Yeah, so does that so this Isa had a Cheskes Heter. From the second I was Megalgal, the second there was a Isa, a Gilgal, meaning the way we make Challah, we don't put a little bit and then add more and add more. Like if that's what she was doing then in the Chanami, if she made a little bit, a handful of dough, and then more dough and more dough and more dough. So then, but she just made dough, and we're not sure what she did. We just supposed to have a suffix on what she did. Is that called the Cheskes Heter?
Like the Haskalas
I'm saying it. Again, assume
the Kemach was...
The Kemach was a suffix shear.
Yeah, but the Kemach, when it was in the bag...
But I'll come on, let's assume for a second there's no Cheskes. What? What, the Kemach? I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. Kemach,
Yeah, maybe it's like
again, maybe it's totally in the Chazon Ish where the Iker Chiyuv comes in, but if the whole Chayiv doesn't only start with Gilgal Isa, so then this Isa never had a Cheskes Heter. The second was Isa, we had a suffix. Again, unless it went in stages, Yishlayim. I'm just saying is that even that a Cheskes Heter, it certainly never had a Cheskes Isser, and suffix Derabanan L'Kula. Bifrat, we'll leave it at that, that will bring us to the next sugya. If she had a suffix, if she had a Shir Chaim Noah, she Vada did not have a Shir Chazon Ish. So could you be Soymech to eat? Now the Chazon Ish himself is Machmir, right? The Chazon Ish has a bigger Chumrah. So right, so what that shear? That's what we have to claim. That shear, the smaller shear, the shear of Chaim Noah, let's call it. It's Pachas Yos, it's a little less than the shear of Chaim Noah, 1.2 kilo back. If you have a suffix 1.2 kilo, we certainly have what?
That's where 1.2 comes from.
Yeah, that's like the shear of Chumrah of the Chazon Ish. We'll see about that shear. So I'm not sure if it has a Cheskes Heter, but even if it does not have a Cheskes Heter, that's Rechoizer L'Didon to the Iker Din of Shin Chafei. And we leave Shin Lamed as an exception to the rule. That's what it sounds like from all the poskim. We say that over there, Chazal nemt on to be machmir because of all the chaymer of Misa and Iker Deraisa and Chashash Kilkul v'chule. And why they chose over here and not another place? That's Aruch HaShulchan said, hey, Mamre, they decide over here. Like we said, maybe there's some kind of a svar because it's less nicker, because it's telling him going to the mikveh, not going to the mikveh. It's more problem with Ma'ar Zayin. But Al Kolpanim Nicker Din is Safek Derabanan L'Kula. And that for sure we could apply to the regular din of Safek Shir. That it's Safek Derabanan L'Kula.
Why wouldn't we give it the Chumrah of Chisar Yidin? It's not a regular Safek, it's a Safek Chisar Yidin.
In which case? In which case?
Not a Safek that was Noila, it's a Safek Chisar Yidin. You don't know how much it is. Such a Yidin. Certainly Safek Chisar Yidin is worse.
When the whole world doesn't know, then we'll make. But Safek Hasidiya Challah, then it's done. That's a real. That's.